Namaskar. And the three good generals are back. We are talking about two topics, very important topics. The first one, is there a rift between the CCP and the PLA? All the indications are yes, and why? We are going to take a look at that. And the second topic is the EU-India Fair Trade Agreement. And what does that mean? Is it real or is it something still up in the smoke? All this and more. Let's welcome the three good generals, General Ravi Shankar, General Dushyant Singh, and General Rajiv Narayanan. Namaskaram, sir. How are you?
Namaskar. Thanks a lot. Pleasure to be on your panel back again, and especially to see my good friend General Dushyant also here. I missed you all last time.
I know you held the fort. You held the fort alone.
Yes. I had to fight for three people.
That's right.
So, as always, we are going to start with our opening batsman, Sri Sunil Gavaskar, and over to you, General Ravi Shankar. I think you have some data also.
Yeah, I have a slide deck. I have a slide. Could you put that on, please?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Look, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you some facts. I'm not going to give my opinion also, because the facts speak for themselves. This is just reproduction of parts of an article which has this heading: why were China's generals missing in action during the Victory Day parade? And this came out yesterday. And very interesting observations. The Victory Day, for all its parade and all, was very great. He says the first Victory Day parade was held in 2015. 50 generals joined troops to march down the Chang'an Avenue in central Beijing. This was then. The generals were also out in force for the National Day parade in 2019. And all got a rare opportunity to see the PLA's new generation of rising stars. We're talking of 6 years back. In all, 89 generals were announced as they led 59 formations in the parade. 4 full generals, 2 lieutenant generals, 83 major generals. And they all included China's 5 theater commands who led the flag formation. Very important. All the theater commands were marching in the last parade. This year, what happened? The generals were gone. And instead, colonels or senior colonels made their way by foot and vehicle through the capital's main thoroughfare. And the announcer did not say who they were. It's normally a matter of pride for them. Oh, so and so, so and so. Aske baad kuch nahi hai. Then the explanation. China's recent anti-corruption campaign has had a very broad impact on the military. Right? It could be that too many major generals are suspected of having ties to senior generals under investigation. We know just about last week, 4 more generals were sacked. Before that, 2 defense ministers. Half the CMC is missing, and more. Over a longer period, about 50-60 people have been sacked. Now, all these fellows, this is the logic. Just think how deep the problem is. All the major generals today would have link with their seniors, so they are not brought on, in front of everyone. And Beijing may be hesitant to let major generals lead the parade. And the logic, the communist logic. If these major generals took part in the parade, appeared in public, and were later investigated, it would reflect negatively on Beijing. So this is the thinking. Obviously there's a rift. Okay, then even the commander of this year's victory parade had a lower rank than the past, with the event headed by a lieutenant general. Who had previously come to in the public domain as an Air Force commander of the Central Theatre Command. So not a single theatre commander, not a single general. It was commanded by a lieutenant general, of whom no one knew. Right, that's what he says. The 2 previous parades were overseen by a full general, with Yi Xiaoguang, commander of the Central Theatre Command, taking the helm in 2019, and Song Puxuan from the Beijing military region, the Central Theatre's precursor, in 2015. At that time, they had not gone to this command. The military regions were the ones. Right. This time, Beijing did not say how many military generals were involved in the parade command, and has not explained why this year's arrangements were different. Yeah, please take it off. So, can you think of this story? The slide can go, please. Yeah, now just think. What a major shift. And that at a time when it's a major military parade, it's being showcased, as a precursor. And in this was a military parade held on the back of the SCO, which is a big showcase. And then this is a time when he announced the GGI Global Governance Initiative, and the military parade featured amongst guests, importantly, the architects who are the pillars of GGI, Putin and Kim Jong-un. And yet the senior military people were missing. Of course, there are huge problems in the equipment. That's a different story. So there is a rift, and we know, we've been talking about it for the past 6 months, that there's a problem between him and Zhang Yuxia, and half the CMC is missing, and nothing is moving. Xi Jinping has got politics in his hand, but Zhang Yuxia has got the PLA in his hand. So rift is an understatement, right, at this point of time. So I'll get, this is all I have to say at the beginning. Back to you, Shri Ayarji.
Thank you so much, General Dushyanth Singh. This CCP show of force, in sense, like, they were actually showing some new stuff, and perhaps they were showing what their future roadmap looks like. Certainly, the world took notice, and even Trump said, "I watched the parade; it's impressive." Blah blah blah. Beyond the optics, what you are seeing. First off, your thoughts on what General Ravi Shankar said, and then beyond that optics, how do you see this CCP PLA rift?
First of all, I totally agree as far as the rift and tensions that are taking place between PLA, and more so, I think there is a rift within the CCP as well. So there is a step beyond the current rift, which current issue which we are discussing, that is the rift between CCP and the PLA. I think there is a pro-Z loyalists who are there, and there are anti-Z loyalists, they are there. And then there is a third factor which is now kicking in, is that Z, because of his 2-3 obsessions, that is over centralization and loyalist being the priority, he has started suspecting his own loyalists also. That is one logic which people are giving. The other logic is that there is a power tussle which is going on between Zhang Jia, who is the vice premier of the CPC, and he's trying to CCP, and he's trying to actually create a alternate power center. So it seems that the situation has become even more complex than simply PLA and CCP. I was doing an analysis of the theater commanders. Now, all the theater commanders who were prior to the current lot, some of them were of the Hu Jintao period, who were slowly either taken out or purged. Now, what is happening is all of them were appointed by Xi Jinping. But here also, I read in that in the summary which was made, that definitely Western theater commander is against anti-C. Earlier, he was supposed to have been the one who was before him was sacked, purged. This fellow took over, but he also seems to be not in favor of it. Most of them are tending towards becoming neutral and waiting and watching as to which side the dice will roll. Who will be the ultimately CMC commander? Will it be Xi Jinping, or will somebody else like Zhang Jia might take place, or maybe an alternate dispensation starts with the CCP taking over the entire how should I say, the governance structure of China. So as of now, the situation to me looks very, 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 very fluid and very, very unclear. Then there is this another lobby which is working to portray Xi as a man who's been put under arrest, or whose health is not good. These narratives are also coming out in the social media, whether they are driven by the Western media or whether they are driven by the internal media. But certain news items which are coming from the South China Morning Post, I think we need to believe them much more than the others, because they do get into the real story and then take it out as far as for the global audience is concerned. So I was reading those posts very clearly, very carefully, which were being issued by the South China Morning Post. So what I have gathered, my sense is that there are now not one, but there are three factions: PLA pro Z, PLA pro Zhangzia. CCP is also seeming to be divided. There is CCP pro Hu Jintao, and there is a CCP which is pro C. So there are four, I think, factions which have got created, making the situation even worse. Maybe that is the reason why we saw in the current parade, the National Day parade, where Victory Day parade, where we found that no senior officers were there, because most of them probably were not willing to come, or they were under some kind of a investigation, or maybe under the threat of being purged. So to me, it looks like situation is really simmering under the surface. Now, coming to the optics part of it, the parade which is there, I think the reason why the optics was made even more had many other factors, like the geopolitical situation globally was also changing, and there was a need for China to. I mean, it saw as an opportunity to snatch the power balance from US, and showcase its SCO summit as a opportunity to showcase China as the next emerging big global power. So therefore, that was one major reason. But the finer points which General Shankar raised, I think, have something to do with their internal situation of their PLA and the CCP both. How do you overcome your weakness? You overcome your weakness. You don't want to show your weakness, so you put a red carpet over it. And I think the one of the aims of this was to put a red carpet over their state of military. We can discuss the state of military. Our the Victory Lap general is waiting to uncover that, since it is a season of cricket. So we should talk in terms of cricket, and there are a lot of controversies going on cricket as well. And India seems to be up and about, not shaking hands, etc. We are looking in the eye at the people who are trying to oppose us. So in my view, this is where I'll stop. I think there are four factions which have got created: two CCP, two PLA, and there are some neutrals which are wait and watch. They will swing towards the side which finally gains the primacy. But I think in due course of time, Zhangzia might just tip the scale.
Thank you so much, sir. General Rajiv, two specific questions for you. Hype versus reality. You have the answers for that. And I'll ask a second question after that. Let's go ahead. So I'm going to have two questions for you. So let's first hype versus reality of the CCP. I'm sorry, PLA. Go over to you.
We'll start with the parade. It's not just where the generals were. You got to see who was placed where in the visitors' deck.
Pecking order.
In the visitors' deck.
Visitors' deck.
Oh,
okay. Who are seeing it?
Guess. From where you watched. 3 people. Not guess. These are the senior people in the pecking order who are there, other than the Politburo Standing Committee, because Politburo Standing Committee, I couldn't see anybody out there. They were at the lower deck. Topmost deck is where you look up to. And you had 3 people who were not in the Politburo Standing Committee, and the topmost deck was all retired people from the Politburo Standing Committee. You had Wang Yang, Hun Chunhua, and Chang Yuzia. They were not. They have never been members of the Politburo Standing Committee. That was telling, a telling moment that what were these 3 doing there. That is point number 1. Number 2, if you look at all the parades that have taken place right from the beginning, basically after 2015, they have become 3 parades over different frequencies. One is the raising of the Communist Party. That is 1st October, one parade hota. In another cycle, you get 1st August raising of the PLA. and he started the third one of the Victory Day in September over Japan. All these parades, whoever came, even our man Xi Jinping when he came earlier, when you look at it, they all wear the Mao dress, which is dark grey and dark olive green, double shade, with dark olive green being a little more visible than dark grey. Olive green to show their fealty to the men. First time ever, he was made to wear a dress which was light grey in color, had no olive green. The commander of the parade, which they call the marshal of the parade, was announced night before the parade. Before the parade, 82 Group Army had taken over Beijing 3 weeks before. Zhongnan High, which is, the security is looked after by the Bureau of People Security. They have the Central Bureau of Guards. Kicked out 82 Group Armies. One of the Combined Arms Brigade has taken over and is still controlling Zhongnan High. When they went to Baidahe just before this parade, again the Guards Bureau was not there. The Special Ops Brigade of 82 was there. Chang Yuzhia suspected the fealty of 81 Group Army. 81 Group Army and 79 was switched. And today there is a ring of steel around Beijing below 80 Group Army, which is in Weizang. I will tell you about an incident which happened in Weizang also. Okay, that is Weihang. There the 80 Group Army, 82 Group Army, and in the north is 79 Group Army. Remember Mao, what he said. Power flows from the barrel of the gun. The barrel of the gun today is with Chang Yuzhia. Xi Jinping ordered them to go back. They have refused to go back, by the way. So the writ, as far as the military is concerned, I am clear, it has gone from Xi Jinping's hand. Overall, as my reading, there are 4 factions. Xi Jinping faction is still there in CCP. If we think that he is weakened in CCP, no way.
No, he's not.
He's there because whatever other people may have done, CMC people may have purged, it may have gone down. No one has purged anybody from the Politburo Standing Committee. And these were his handpicked men. You may say Tai Chi is not doing this, Li Qiang is not doing this, that is irrelevant. They were handpicked by Xi and you have not removed them. So one is Xi Jinping faction, Hu Jintao faction. Along with Hu Jintao is Wen Qiaopao, his premier. And the third faction is the Chiang Zemin faction, which is being controlled by Zhen Qinghong, who was his chief of staff, Jiang Zemin's chief of staff. He's taken over. He looks after the children of Jiang Zemin. The children of Jiang Zemin control the digital world of China. They are billionaires. They stay out of trouble, but now targeted hitting by Hu Jintao and Chang Yuzhia on their people who are controlling the digital world. That strikes have started, the purges have started. Why? Because the reports come out that in Baidahe, the Chiang Zemin faction was one faction which was keen that Xi Jinping should continue as the chair. Even if you get some other general secretary or anything, Xi Jinping should continue as the chairman, which Xi Jinping is also saying he wants to continue. But Wen Qiaopao and Chang Yuzhia were not keen. Now the targeting has started. And there's a whole lot of purges which have taken place. Starting after the Baidahe, about close to 50 generals and people from the defense industry and Peng Liyuan's chosen people also. Peng Liyuan is Xi Jinping's wife. She had also her chosen people. And her main man was the provincial head of Xinjiang, who's been purged. He's purged. And
Yeah, we did an episode on that. We know all that happened. They tried to escape.
He's been sacked from the party. Latest is he's been sacked from the party. So now there was supposed to be a maritime notice was given that in Shandong, Weifang area, Weifang is where 80 group army is there. They were supposed to do some live firing. I didn't have that software to edit the video and show you here. Weifang people on their video have recorded a missile or something coming in, and an air defense missile knocks it off over just outskirts of Weifang. And everybody is surprised, and that is seen all around the Shandong district, Shandong province, places around Weifang. It was discernible coming in from the east. From the eastern seaboard, the missile is coming. Now they are all questioning, what is this? There was some sound of firing also taking place. Now, me and General Shankar have done so many episodes of the misfiring rockets. Is that one of the misfiring rockets? Once before it happened, from the same region when they had fired, it had gone and hit Hebei, one of the residential towers outskirts of Beijing. It had gone and hit there. Is it something similar? Because they had given a notice. From 14th to 16th, maritime notice and NOTAM and all was given. They were going to some firing, and rockets and all their rockets and all had gone. Was it something out there? So it is something amiss. Major is going on, because apart from this missile firing, the people were saying they were hearing small arms firing also. What is going on? Are they doing their live firing so close to Weifang? Weifang is so far away from the coast. Qingdao, you should be doing somewhere near Qingdao, which is the naval headquarters. That is on the eastern seaboard. What are you doing firing near? Then they tried to cover up saying a test firing. Do you do some test firing over populated areas? Come on. I was having a laugh when I was reading that report that they were telling that they are doing a firing, test firing. What test firing? Over heavily populated areas. So there is something amiss in PLA, and there is a steep power struggle going on within CC. You can't pinpoint who's winning, who's where, but yes, Hun Chunwa has been brought out as he has risen like a phoenix from the ashes, because that was seen when he had gone to Tibet for just 24 hours and he came back, and thereafter the red carpet was laid out for Hun Chunwa. All reports were being given to Hun Chunwa like as if he is the General Secretary stroke Premier. Who gets what, where, what happens? I think this fourth plenum in October will clear there.
Yeah, so, the fourth plenum is important. The fourth plenum we have to watch.
No, it's not necessary it will get cleared. It's not necessary.
No, we need to watch that.
We need to watch that. Murky.
The very fact that he moved the 81 group army away from Beijing indicates that while he may have control of some major portion of the PLA, there are factions in PLA who are pro Xi Jinping. Otherwise, why did he move the 81st group army from Hebei to North Shenyang area and then get the 79th group army 1-to-1 change?
Another thing which is interesting, which I find here in the PLA, is that the group armies also are having their own trajectories. Like the 83rd group army has now started a campaign which is saying that one man rule, collective leadership over one man rule. Now, which is a direct accusation against Xi Jinping's style of leadership. Now, imagine a group army which is a much small. I mean, it comes under a theater commander. Yeah, and it comes under. Of course, this guy comes under Central Theater Commander. Even he's publishing it in the PLA daily. That is big.
Sir,
if you publish it in a PLA daily,
he must be doing this because there is no Central Theater Commander today. There's no one there.
So I mean, but what I'm saying is that they are actually going, I would say, their own ways. Number of them. So maybe because of the different loyalties which are now emanating from top.
From top.
Yeah.
General Rajiv, I would like you to finish the thought. We were talking about one of the misfiring aircraft carriers of China, where there were some trials. Talk about that, sir. And then I have another question for you. Please bear with me, gentlemen. I have another question for you, and then we'll come back. And by the way, another request. All the questions that have been posed today so far are about the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia pact with Pakistan. Viewers, two things. I'm going to request the generals here to maybe accommodate some time on that also. And there is another program that is going to air at 10 p.m. that will give you an alternate view on that. Do tune in for that one. That's with Karthik Gore. Now, let's get back to Rajiv Narayananji. Sir, let's talk about the misfiring aircraft carrier. I can only say this. Go ahead, sir.
Two of them. First is the most talked about Fujian, the third aircraft carrier, 80,000 tons displacement, was initially supposed to have steam launched and then shifted to EMALs. Supposed to have shifted to EMALs. Deck earlier also we had seen got torn in the launch and other things. They had issues. They have done it, made a huge song and dance about it, floating down the Taiwan Straits. And that has been the blunder. Because all the satellite imagery has come out. And lo behold, what do you find? That the landing and the takeoff decks are overlapping. There are two catapults there for the takeoff. The second catapult is overlapping on the first, onto the landing deck. So you can't say that one's first catapult is not, because if this breaks, it is going to hit into the first one, or there will be some foreign body debris which will be available there, FOB as they say. So this is the classic case of an aircraft carrier which has been so mismanaged that you can either take off or land, you can't do both. And when you are landing, you got to be careful that you don't damage that second catapult which is overlapped into your landing area. And even after landing, it takes time to take off, because for that aircraft has to go off onto the deck to the other side. It has to go over that takeoff deck. You made an 80,000 ton aircraft carrier and you couldn't do these finer details. So this is a major problem that has come out glaringly from Ascent of this aircraft carrier. That means it is just there for show. It is going to face the normal aircraft carriers. If you look at ours also, we launch almost about 80 to 100 sorties. And if you are pushed, you can launch 120 sorties in a day. I wonder if he'll be able to launch even 40 sorties. Then you got this sort of a thing.
Yeah, and
next is the famous Shandong. Shandong,
this carrier had a crack also on the.
Yes, sir. 1/3 of it across the horizontally and vertically, it had a big crack, which has been repaired.
It was under a refit repair for quite some time. In fact, it took almost 6-7 months.
Now this is the one glaring which has come in their design. That the design itself is faulty. Otherwise, your takeoff and your landing decks just do not cross each other, and your aircrafts can easily go after landing and go off to the side for whatever rearming and making it ready that they can done, which doesn't interrupt. Even our smaller aircraft carriers are having that, which such a big one made a song and dance that it will be a contest to the Americans. This flaw, major design flaw has come about it, and he can do nothing about it at this stage. Now we come to their famous second, because Liaoning, the first one, has been kept as their training. Second was the Shandong. And in the video that was being shown to me, I noticed huge cloud of black smoke. It is diesel driven, huge cloud of black smoke. That means the engine is gone. There's no power in that engine. That means either the cylinder has, each piston cylinder has widened, or the O-rings have gone. So the oil from the sump is going into the combustion chamber that is burning, and that is giving you, the normal oil is giving you that black smoke. He will have no power in that. The engine is gone. And 2019 it was handed over. From the time it has handed over, virtually after almost, once it comes out, goes out somewhere, it has always gone for refit. Last it had gone for refit was from 2023, where they said that new things, it is going to be upgraded. This is the upgrade. Last time it went, I never saw this black smoke. Now you're seeing this black smoke. So there is a lot of, I would say, the issue is when you cut corners to show to the world that I can make more in a year than you can do, then you have these issues coming up where systems don't last. The actual life is questioned. The efficacy of the equipment itself comes under question. There is a technical time that is needed to construct a particular thing. If you're going to cut down, like simple thing, you're making a concrete, you got to have that 15 days of watering and tempering for it so that it solidifies. You cut it before it, the concrete would not have set. Same is the case with any equipment that you make. There is a finite technical time that is required for doing various things, and of course, quality check for what you're putting in. If you're doing it fast, well, if the rocket force can go 180 degrees opposite, so can the aircraft.
General Rajiv, second question for you. Are you done, sir? I'm sorry if I cut you off.
No, I'm done.
Yeah. So I want us to go back to the SEO meeting where Modi met one individual, Kai Chi, separately, one-on-one. What is the significance, according to you, of that, sir? And I'll ask the other generals also on that after you.
See, my take is, yes, Xi Jinping's health took a hit. In that last year's July meeting, after the first speech, he was not there. Whether it was a mild stroke, what it was, that is a secret, nobody knows. But yes, you can see he's not as healthy and as peppy as he was. So how long, what would he have spoken? That's a different issue. Tai Chi is the secretary, looks after the Communist Party, the general office of the Communist Party. So you can say that he is the chief of staff of the Communist Party. So they might have been a separate message which came. What people are saying is that apart from the state dinner that was organized, the Communist Party of China wanted to host our PM for a separate state dinner. And I think he would have come to talk of that, where they wanted to talk on the way ahead of how to normalize relations between India and China. This was the outreach I see it as an outreach from the Communist Party. Because after that, Xi Jinping has been talking of collective leadership. He also realizes, because I don't take much, like a lot of people say, ho, he's been this because he went to Tibet and came back. People forget Tibet is a high altitude area. And if your health is bad, and let us say your heart is bad, you can't stay long there. You will have problems. And that is the reason I give that he went there and within 24 hours he came away. His doctor would not have permitted him to stay there for him. So yes, health-wise, the whole problem of this struggle for leadership is because of his health. If Xi Jinping had been, let us say, nothing had happened in that July meeting, do you think anything of this would have been happened? You and me would have been talking about it? No way. It is because there is some issue with his health that there is a power struggle which is going on within the Communist Party and the PLA, that who next? Who will call the shots? And this is an outreach by Kai Chi from the Communist Party. Of course, PM Modi had his plans already, so he had to politely turn it down. So he must have come again to talk that as to what they wanted to discuss in that state dinner with him. Because state dinners are not just state dinners. Before you go in, there would be a discussion of what to do. So I look at it from that way. Tai Chi is the Chief of Staff of the Communist Party. As
Thank you so much, sir.
Director of the General Office of the Communist Party.
Thank you so much, sir. Viewers, wherever you are watching it, whichever channel, it's coming live on Klaus channel as well as Ganesh Shot as well as P Gurus. Please like this video, because many vested interests are going to be furiously trying to complain about this, because the next topic is extremely hot. But before that, I would like General Ravi Shankar and then General Dushant Singh to weigh in on the Modi Kaichi meeting. If you have anything additional to add, your perspective, sir.
No, perspective is largely the same, but let me explain the context. See, Mr. Modi had gone there for the SCO meet. In the structure of the SCO meet, and Xi Jinping had his own commitments of meeting other heads of state in that meet. So he wouldn't have had the time to devote to Mr. Modi beyond that one-to-one. That one-to-one at the head of state level was there. But the other one, which had meeting at the Communist Party level, this is an outreach from the Communist Party to normalize relations with India. Also remember, at that time it was very clear. I mean, the optics of this, beyond the optics of the thing, the significance of Mr. Modi going there was very clear. That was the peak of Trump tariffs and all that. Right? And they would have recognized that Mr. Modi took a great political risk going there, a geopolitical risk going there. And they had to see, look, what is there in it overall. Also remember, the CCP has already made an outreach in some manner with the BJP. It's in the news, right? So you put all this together, it's a political outreach. Whether that political outreach is for a long-term outcome or short-term thing, we didn't know because it never came about. But it's very important. And it also tells you that China is prepared to talk to you on a one-to-one footing, not from a position of strength. Oh, we will sort you out type. That was a thinking before this. That was a thinking any time before this. Even in the last meeting between Xi Jinping and Modi, which happened in Mahabalipuram, he probably felt he had the upper hand. But after things changed. So I think that was a very important meeting, Saichi meeting him. And also remember, Saichi in the entire Politburo Standing Committee is the most trusted person of Xi Jinping.
Yeah, that's
right. So he coming, talking all this, very important.
He looks after the security of Xi Jinping and his family.
So
General Dushant.
Basically, what I have gathered is that he's his kind of a person who is always around him. If we have certain personalities in India also like that, may I compare? In the Congress party there was somebody called Ahmed Patel type. So he's exactly a replica of that. So maybe either some issues were left out during the Beijing during the bilateral summit one-on-one summit between Xi Jinping and Modi, that he may have gone there to convey or to take it forward. Maybe the next visit, because he invited Xi Jinping also to visit India. So from that perspective, I feel that it could be progressing this particular dialogue further. So he found the best person would be the most loyalist person to Xi Jinping to broach this topic. Other than that, there were also some media reports that probably he did not meet. We don't know exactly whether he met or not met. If he has met, it would be more to do with progressing some agenda which was missed out during the one-on-one meeting, and also maybe related to invitation to Xi Jinping, any additional issues, etc., which he might have liked to convey to him through Kaichi. I mean, that's
thank
in
you so
addition
much,
to what.
yeah.